Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday. The S&P 500 was up 1.15% today. It was a really good day. Lots of green things on the screen, but a lot of things that were driving kind of, the upturn so far this year were driving today, similar things that were driving in 2020. So my impression of today is that really kind of the individual investors were coming in after really the worst week of the year so far from last week and kind of buying on the dip, so to speak. And I think we have to be a little bit careful there just because tomorrow is the CPI report that's going to come out. Right now, when we're looking at projections for what it might be, it is showing that it might be higher than it was, which would be really kind of a first. We've been having some nice decreases in inflation. There's different portions of inflation that we look at. We look at how it did versus last year and how it did versus last month. So that's one way looking at it. And then also they look at just overall CPI inflation and then what they call core inflation, where they take out food and energy. And so the Cleveland Federal Reserve has a thing called the Nowcast, which is their projection for inflation in all of those different areas, really for the next couple of months worth of inflation reports. And they tend to be a little bit high, but they're expecting a fair increase in inflation, especially month over month. So for example, if you look last month, the CPI inflation month over month was actually down 0.08%. And expecting it to be up over 0.6% this report for this month over month report. So really, be interesting to see how the market reacts to this. Again, this is probably the first, substantial, if we're going to say substantial, increase in CPI that we've had since it kind of peaked out back in the middle of last year. And probably why the market sold off at last week, as well as the higher inflation numbers and the Federal Reserve coming out and speaking aggressively. People just a little bit concerned with having exposure to the stock market during the CPI report period, especially since there's been a pretty big run up. So my impression was the individual investors was in there today, but we weren't seeing the real institutional money coming in yet. So if the CPI does surprise to the upside, we might see a big jump. I know back in November when it surprised the upside, the market actually jumped 5% in one day. So that was a good thing, but it can also surprise to the other side and the market could come down. So hopefully we'll, know more as we go. Now, we did make an adjustment to the portfolios. We moved some of our target pieces into, utilities, high dividend paying stocks and energy and those types of things, just because we had some signals that came through on Friday and today's our day to make those adjustments. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, look forward to seeing what's going to happen tomorrow. And I'll give you my opinions on what's happening with CPI and should be very interesting, actually. So look forward to talking to you then. Thank you.